pull. Yeah, it's once again like kind of what I just said is that yeah, the apartheidism, being of apartheid, is still there. It's they still do it. It's not. It's in subtle ways. You know what I mean? But it seems to be getting worse and worse. And here under the Obama regime, naturally they closed a blind eye to anything that was happening in South Africa. I'm hoping with Trump, I know there's a lot of things in America he's got to take care of first, but I hope he at least puts an ambassador in South Africa, replaces the one that's there, and replaces him with a real ambassador that's looking at the entire situation in South Africa. Because red flags should have been flying into the White House of the things that's going on in South Africa. Not just the crime rate alone. I mean, it's it's just as dangerous being in some parts of South Africa as it is being in Afghanistan. But of course, it's like out here, if you go to Chicago, you go in certain parts of Chicago, it's just as bad as being in a war zone too. So, but at least here, that's something he's focusing on. He's going to try to get the situation in Chicago under hand. That's one of his campaign promises. But in South Africa, the bad thing is, outside of a squatter camp, it's hard for a white African to gain community, to unite together in a community they want to live in. And people say, well, that's being segregated or apartheid again because they're wanting to go and live by themselves and preserve their own culture. But even here in America, you got neighborhoods that are black neighborhoods, white neighborhoods, and you got some that are kind of a mixed neighborhood. But, to focus so much emphasis, I mean, once the white African is gone, who are they going to blame for their failures? Is my total thinking on the situation. Once the white farmer's gone, like it happened in Rhodesia, they blamed the white man till they almost ran every one of them out of the country. And now what is their excuse? I mean, now they're on UN food. If the UN just pulled back any kind of food distribution to their country, they'd be in starvation conditions, And a lot of them are still, in bad conditions. I mean, Rhodesia or Zimbabwe now is the country like to South Africa what Mexico is to America. They flow across the border trying to find jobs and improve themselves. But once you have a collapse of South Africa, then what happens? Yeah, it's a very detrimental state South Africa's in. I mean, you got so many people that want out, and you can't blame most of the white Africans that want to get out of their own country. They all, most of them have roots or go all the way back into the 1600s. I mean, people say, yeah, and colonial is a new word, what I call, it's a term used in a racial aspect now, in their politics. And it's no different than saying the word Kaffir to me. You're calling somebody, how long do you got to be in a country to be called, say, an African? How long do you got to be in a country to be called an American? How long do you got to be in a country till you're considered an Irishman? Or, so, is it 10 years, 100 years, 200 years, maybe even 300 years, and you're still not considered a resident of the country yet? It's amazing that most of these people that are called colonials and go back to your country have been there 300 years, some of them, and their roots go that deep. They're as African as any other African. They know nothing different, but they're being forced out of a country. And most of them do want to escape, but they have no means to escape. And that's the reason I think it's going to be detrimental to the point where I foresee nothing but a possible war in South Africa at some point. It's just at that point, it's just, you can only push people so far to where they're going to be forced to defend themselves and retaliate. But I hope they don't. I pray for peace. I'm one of those individuals, I believe, I love to see everybody get along. And I think every man is a human. Every man has a soul. Every man deserves a right to live. And I got into the South African thing from a friend who was a DJ. It was playing my band Tattoo Billy, a guy named Franz Moritz. And he didn't tell me about it. I seen a link on his page called Farm Murders. And I checked it out and I asked him, I said, is this stuff really going on there? And he goes, yeah. He goes, this stuff's really happening here, unfortunately. So that's how I got into it. You want me to continue where I left off?
Uh,
I
and
think I kind of answered that question.
indeed, and would it be wise if Zimbabwe was um, put into Mashonaland, Matabeleland, and a territory for the Southern Rhodesians?
I can agree with that assessment.
Yep.
That, that's a very good assessment because at the rate it's going, it's not going to last anyways. You know what I mean? It's just it's already there where it's collapsed. It's just the UN's keeping it alive with food and money help. Other than that, it would already be a collapsed nation. It's there already. It was failed. You, and one thing I always say to people, it's easy to cause revolution, but it's hard to run a country. Anybody can destroy a country with revolution, but not everybody can run a country.
And what do you think of the hate speech and incitement against Caucasians in South Africa and Zimbabwe? Specifically, the insightful, hateful songs Dubala and Bruno, Ayasaba Magwala, and the Peter Makaba chant Kill the Boer and Kill the Farmer.
Yeah, and as again, it's if this was a white politician on any other part of the world that was speaking like this, it would be headline news. But they try to defend this "Kill the Boer" song with, oh, it's a traditional just song and they don't mean nothing by it, even though the words are totally obvious of what the intent is.
Yeah,
And and like I said, today white Africans are facing a total obliteration of their culture and possibly their own lives if something within the next 20 years is not done. This is only going to continue to snowball out of control. You know what I mean? And when you got a government, it gives you the mentality that it's okay. It's okay. It's the same mentality. They're just white people. It's okay. They're just black people. It's okay. They're not really human. It's okay. And that is what we're getting out of the South African government. You know what I mean? Is that white people they owe us, and we're in charge now, and they're going to be punished
and they must
for
need to pay.
yeah, it's something that once again we said earlier that most of these people that are suffering under this new regime did not even live during apartheid. You know, and and if you talk to them, none of them are really racist. That's what I tell people. I said I even talk to Boers that they say, well, I hope my black neighbor who just got this farm can actually
Run it.
grow the food, and we're going to try to help him best we can. But the mentality once that work comes in and the management of a farm comes in, the farm usually fails. They try to help. That's what people don't realize. They think like they're against black people. They want other farmers that are black to be successful just like they do too. But they want their own farms too. It's been in their families forever. And so there's got to be some changes. And to me, B laws need obliterated. They're nothing but a nuisance. They're nothing but something to, you know, cause more strife. And going back on apartheid, everything, you've heard them blame everything from we're lacking water because during apartheid they built the dams too big. I mean, this is the kind of ignorance you get. This ain't like stuff you see in the Western world. So I tell people you can't look at South Africa and put it in a frame of mind of the Western idea. just like you can't the Middle East. You come in here, these people are tribal people. They have traditions. They believe a lot of them in magic and witchcraft. You know what I mean? And it's a very different world. This ain't a Western world, and so you can't put the mentality of Western
liberal thinking.
racism or something like, oh, it's racist, white against black. No, you got racists there that are tribe against tribe. They don't like one another. The Zulu, you can't even marry outside the tribe. You talk about apartheid, they can't even marry outside their tribe without their king's permission. Isn't that apartheid? Or is that tribalism? So it's it, that's what I try to tell people. I was like, you cannot put apartheid and the system, why it was established, into order. Did I say, was it a failed system? Well, it failed because of pressure worldwide. You know what I mean? Uh, and I'm not saying I believe in an oppression of nobody, oppression of any people. But when you look back at it, it was a system that was designed for that area. It was safer to keep certain groups of people away from each other. It's better the Zulus stay with the Zulu than be over here because these people don't get along. You know, this tribe don't get along. It's a tribal system, and that's what I try to tell a lot of people. There was a bit of Western frame of mind with the Afrikaner and the Boer, but then again, they are a unique people that are much tribal, as in with the Boer, as in traditions that of their families. So I mean, to me, is it like a tribe? Tribe? No, but they are a unique culture that have their own
Customs.
ideas and culture and stuff. And to me, if they want their own homeland, if they want their own to be around each other, there should be no law prohibiting these people to be together like any other tribe or any other people. I mean, it's only natural and common sense factors that you're attracted to be around your own people. If you're hanging in a bar, you had a bunch of Yanks on one side and a bunch of Irish on the other side. Who do you want to drink a pint with?
The
You know what I
Irish.
mean? It's going to You're going to get over with your Irishman. I mean, it's just a natural sense. There's nothing racist against it. It's just we as a people are attracted to be around our people, and it's not racist to stand up for your people in any shape or form, and that's what I tell people. It's a common sense. Let's throw the common sense factor in. Take the politics out and let's throw the common sense factor. And then once you start thinking more common sense in these issues, the more you're like, you know what, you're right, and we're just all humans, and that's cool. And let's try to get along with each other. But when you got a government that the only thing they want to do is keep bringing up racist things and atrocities, supposed atrocities of the past, you're never going to get past it. And the thing here, we have Native Americans here, and if anybody's got the right to really complain and bitch, forgive the term, is the Native Americans of America. I mean, these people, great people. I got a little bit of Native American blood in me. I had a
Right.
fourth great grandmother that was a Chickasaw Indian. So, but these people are great people. They've went on past everything that's happened in the past, and a lot of them are very prosperous today with casinos and everything else.
Very
These
successful.
great people, an example to the world. You know what I mean? Of what perseverance situation went against common sense. There's common sense factors you got to use in politics. The common sense factor should have happened in South Africa is, hey, we were oppressed. We had laws against us, so we're not going to make the same mistake that happened in the previously. We're going to make everything fair for everyone. We're going to do everything that's fair for everyone. We're not going to have laws that are based against race. We're going to have to the fittest, the best person for the job is going to get it. It don't matter what color you are. So the B laws are a total failure. It's one of the biggest reasons why South Africa's fallen. We were headed in the same kind of a direction here in America with stupidity in politics that we were failing. We were failing worldwide. We were an embarrassment worldwide. And now we got a strong guy in there. And people were like, kept telling me, Donald Trump ain't going to win. I knew without a shadow of a doubt that Donald Trump was going to win, and I won a lot of money betting against people that Donald Trump was going to win that election because I knew he would. Because America, what I call, if you don't love Donald Trump, you just don't love what America is founded on. There's nothing wrong with wanting to put your country first. There's nothing wrong, you as an Irishman. There's nothing wrong with you saying, "Hey, I want to put Ireland first. And that's a common sense factor. Once again, your politics fall into common sense factors. You're an Irishman, I'm an American. Whatever country you're from, you want your country to be first. But you can. What I like about Trump is he's willing to work with Russia, like he said. To me, it was not common sense the entire time the Obama administration was against Russia, because I'm thinking they're wanting to destroy ISIS. We want to destroy ISIS. So let's get together and let's destroy ISIS. There's nothing good to come out of being an enemy of Russia. There's nothing good at being at ends with Russia, not for us and not for the world. It'd be better to have a peaceful existence with Russia, a mutual respect with Russia, and the same with Israel. The vast majority of Americans are Israeli supporters, which might shock a lot of people, but we believe in the supporting of Israel. And believe it or not, some people may say superstitious or whatever it is. We believe, especially here in the Bible Belt, that your blessings as a nation come from blessing Israel. So we are highly into supporting Israel. We look at Israel as a one of our strongest allies. It's one of the few. It's the only democracy in the Middle East. And so